You replay the moment for days in the shower, in the car, lying awake at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling. You think of the perfect thing you should have said, the sentence that would have crushed them, the response that would have turned the tables. But you didn't say it. You froze. You reacted emotionally. And because you reacted, you lost. The world teaches you that arguments are about logic, that if you just explain yourself clearly enough, if you just present the facts, the other person will understand. That is a lie. Arguments are not about truth. They are about dominance. They are about frame control. Robert Greene, the father of dark strategy, knew this decades ago. He understood that human beings are not rational creatures. We are emotional, hierarchical animals. We don't respect the person who is right. We respect the person who is in control. Most people break in conflict. They defend. They justify. They scream. They cry. They hand over their power on a silver platter because they are desperate to be understood. But you are not here to be understood. You are here to be respected. Today, we are not learning how to communicate better. We are learning how to dismantle an opponent's psyche without raising your voice. I am going to give you 7 verbal blades. 7 responses that don't just end the argument. They sever the other person's ability to control you. These are not witty comebacks for the playground. These are psychological circuit breakers. And the 7th one is the nuclear option. It is a phrase so dismissive, so final, that it doesn't just silence the room. It changes the hierarchy of the relationship forever. But a warning, once you know how to do this, you will see social interactions differently. You will see people as puzzles to be solved, not threats to be feared. You will stop feeling the heat. You will start feeling the cold. And in that cold, you will find your power. Comeback number 1. The dead end. That's an interesting perspective. There is a specific type of person who loves to argue for the sake of arguing. The intellectual bully. The family member who brings up politics at dinner just to provoke you. The coworker who plays devil's advocate just to watch you squirm. They feed on your friction. They need you to push back so they have something to push against. It's simple physics, action and reaction. If you push back, you give them energy. You give them the satisfaction of knowing they got under your skin. Robert Greene taught that one should never waste resources on a battle that yields no profit. Arguing with a fool or a provocateur is a bankruptcy of your energy. So you cut the fuel line when they finish their rant. When they drop their controversial opinion designed to bait you, you do not engage with the content. You do not bring up facts. You do not get offended. You look at them blankly, a flat face, no smile, no frown, and you say, "That's an interesting perspective." And then, this is the key, you go back to what you were doing. You take a sip of your drink. You check your phone. You turn to someone else. You have acknowledged they spoke, but you have denied them significance. The phrase, "that's an interesting perspective," is a verbal coffin. It says, "I heard you. I judged it, and I found it unworthy of further discussion." It is polite on the surface, but dismissive at the core. It treats their passionate belief as a quirky little opinion, like a child showing you a drawing. "That's nice." They will hate this. They will try to bait you again. So you agree? Or do you think I'm wrong? You repeat the wall. "I think it's a perspective, and you're entitled to it." You are the stone wall. They can throw themselves against you all day, but they will only break their own bones. You remain unmoved. This teaches people how to treat you. It teaches them that you are not a source of supply. You are not a toy that makes noise when they press the button. Eventually they will stop pressing, not because they agree with you, but because you are boring to them. And being boring to a narcissist or a bully is the ultimate safety. Comeback number 2. The benevolent spotlight. Are you okay? When someone attacks you, they are usually operating from a place of hidden instability. Anger is rarely about the thing they are shouting about. Anger is a defense mechanism. It is a cover for fear, for insecurity, or for a loss of control. When they scream, they want you to scream back. They want to drag you into the mud. If you get angry, you validate their chaos. You tell them, yes, this situation is worth screaming about. You become their partner in the drama. Robert Greene would tell you to never fight on the enemy's terrain. So how do you win? You shift the spotlight. The moment they launch a personal attack, or raise their voice, or try to humiliate you, you do not defend yourself. You do not address their words. You address their state of mind. You look them in the eyes. You wait 2 seconds and you say with genuine soft concern, "Are you okay? You seem really upset right now." Watch what happens. It is a glitch in the matrix. They were expecting a fight. They were expecting resistance. Instead, you gave them pity by asking, "Are you okay?" You have framed them as the broken one. You have framed them as the emotional child in the room, and yourself as the stable adult. You are not attacked. You are concerned. This destroys their momentum. They cannot continue attacking you because you have just stepped out of the role of enemy and into the role of doctor. If they say, "Of course I'm not okay. You did XYZ," you simply nod, maintain that calm medical gaze, and say, "I hear you, but this level of anger, it doesn't seem to match the situation. Is something else going on?" This is ruthless. It is gaslighting for self-defense. You are forcing them to examine their own overreaction. You are making them self-conscious. Think about it. A king does not scream at a peasant. A parent does not scream at a toddler. The one who screams is the one who feels powerless. By pointing out their emotion, you remind them of their powerlessness. You are holding up a mirror, and what they see in that mirror, a red-faced, out-of-control mess, will make them want to stop looking. They will lower their voice. They have to, because if they keep screaming after you've asked if they are okay, they confirm your diagnosis. They prove they are unstable. You win by refusing to play the game. Comeback number 3, the analytical pause. We are terrified of silence. In Western culture, a gap in conversation feels like a threat. It feels like social death. So when someone insults us or asks a trap question, our instinct is to fill the void immediately. We blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. We stutter, we defend, we rush to close the gap because the tension hurts. But power lives in the gap. Robert Greene teaches that the one who speaks less often appears more powerful. When someone hits you with a rude comment or a demanding question or a blatant lie, do nothing, do not answer, do not react. Look at them, lock eyes, count to 4 in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 seconds of silence feels like an hour during an argument. It creates a vacuum. The other person's brain will start to panic. Did they hear me? Did I go too far? Why aren't they reacting? What are they thinking? In that silence, you are seizing the frame. You are showing that you are not reactive. You are processing. You are judging. After the silence, you don't even need a clever comeback. The silence was the comeback. But if you must speak, say something that puts the labor back on them. Could you repeat that? Say it slowly, calmly. Now they have to say the rude thing again, but this time the momentum is gone. The heat of the moment has passed. Repeating an insult makes them feel foolish. It sounds worse the second time. They will often stutter, rephrase it, or back down entirely. They are explaining themselves to you. He who explains loses. You have used time as a weapon. You have forced them to sit in the discomfort of their own aggression. Most people cannot handle this. They will fill the silence with an apology or a retraction just to end the tension. Master the pause. It is the sound of authority. Comeback number 4. The agreement trap. You're right. This is essentially judo. In judo, you do not block the opponent's force. You pull them forward so they fall on their face. When someone is attacking your character, they are expecting resistance. They are braced for impact. You are lazy. You are selfish. You are incompetent. They are ready for you to say, "No, I'm not." So don't. If someone attacks you with a subjective judgment, agree with them. You are being so difficult right now. You're right. I am being difficult. You don't care about anyone but yourself. I can see why it feels that way. Do not say it sarcastically. Say it as a fact. What can they do now? They have no next move. They have swung the bat and hit nothing but air. They stumbled. By agreeing, you disarm the warhead. You strip the words of their power to hurt you. If you accept the label cannot be used to shame you. But here is the Robert Greene twist. You agree with the truth of the moment, not the truth of your soul. If they say you're arrogant and you say, "I can be arrogant sometimes," You are simply admitting to being human. You are taking the sting out of the tail. But then you pivot. You're right. I am being difficult about this because this matters to me. So how do we solve it? See what you did? You accepted the insult, shrugged it off like dust, and pivoted back to the goal. You showed that your ego is not fragile. You showed that you are focused on the outcome, not the emotion. This signals immense confidence. Only a person who is truly secure can admit a flaw without crumbling. It confuses the attacker. They wanted a fight. You gave them a negotiation. They wanted to hurt your feelings. You showed them you have no feelings to hurt. You become a ghost. They cannot hit what they cannot touch. Comeback number 5. The intent reveal. What is your goal here? This is for the manipulators, the passive-aggressive ones, the ones who cloak their insults in jokes or constructive criticism. They rely on plausible deniability. If you get upset, they say, "I was just joking." You're too sensitive. They operate in the shadows of meaning. You need to drag them into the light. When someone makes a snide comment or tries to undermine you subtly, you stop the conversation. You do not let it slide. You ask a question that cuts through the noise and targets their motivation. What is your goal with that comment? Or are you trying to be helpful, or are you trying to hurt me? This is a direct confrontation of their strategy. You are exposing the game board. If they say, "I was just joking," you stay serious. Explain the joke to me. I don't get it. Now they are forced to dissect their own malice. They have to explain why being cruel is funny. It is excruciating for them. They will squirm. They will look for an exit. By asking, "What is your goal?" you are forcing them to admit their intent. If they say, "I'm trying to help," you say, "It doesn't feel like help. It feels like criticism. If you want to help, do it differently." You are setting boundaries in real time. You are teaching them that covert aggression will not work on you. You will decode it, expose it, and reject it. Robert Greene would frame this as thinking like a strategist, seeing the hidden motive beneath the action. This question is the fox. It sniffs out the trap and snaps it shut before your leg is inside. It requires courage. It requires you to be willing to make the moment awkward. But remember this, the awkwardness belongs to them, not you. They made the rude comment. You just turned the lights on. If the room looks ugly, it's because of the mess they made. Comeback number 6. The disappointment. I expected better. Anger is hot. Disappointment is cold. Anger implies that the other person is your equal, an enemy worthy of battle. Disappointment implies that they are beneath you, a subordinate who failed a task. This is a high-status maneuver. It works best on people who seek your approval or people who pride themselves on being good. When someone lies to you or breaks a promise or acts childishly, do not yell. Yelling shows they hurt you. Instead, look at them with a heavy, tired expression. Sigh just a little and say, "I'm surprised. I expected better from you." This cuts deeper than any scream. It targets their shame. It implies that they had a high standing in your eyes, and they have just fallen. It puts you in the position of the judge, the parent, the authority. I thought you were different. I didn't think you were the kind of person who would do this. You are using their own ego against them. They want to be seen as good, smart, competent. You are telling them they are failing at being the person they pretend to be. And then you withdraw. You walk away. You leave them with that heavy sentence hanging in the air. They will chase you. They will try to fix it. They will try to prove to you that they are better. You have turned the dynamic around. Instead of you chasing them for an apology, they are chasing you for validation. This is the art of soft power. You don't force them to change. You make them want to change to regain your respect. But use this sparingly. It is a heavy weapon. It damages the bond. Only use it when the bond is already fractured by their disrespect. Robert Greene often emphasizes that power is maintained not just through force, but through controlled emotional signals, and this is one of the coldest signals you can send. Comeback number 7, the nuclear option. I don't care enough to argue. We have arrived. The final lesson. There are some arguments that cannot be won. There are some people who are committed to misunderstanding you. They are chaos agents, narcissists, energy vampires. They want the fight. The fight is the fuel. As long as you are talking, They are winning because they are consuming your time and your peace. The ultimate Robert Greene move is to realize that your attention is the most valuable currency on earth, and you can choose to stop spending it. When you realize the conversation is circular, when you realize they are not listening, you deploy the nuclear option. You stop. You gather your things. You look them in the eye, completely devoid of emotion, not angry, just done, and you say, "You can believe whatever you want. I don't care enough to argue with you about this." And you leave. Or even shorter, "You're right. I'm done." This is the ultimate rejection. You are not saying, "I give up." You are saying, "You are not worth the effort." You are telling them that their existence, their opinion, their anger is not significant enough to warrant a response from you. You are devaluing them to zero. For a person who seeks attention or dominance, this is psychological death. They will scream at your back. They will try to provoke you to turn around. "Oh, so you're running away? Keep walking. You can't handle the truth. Keep walking." Your silence as you walk away is the loudest noise they will ever hear. It establishes that you control access to you. You are the gatekeeper. When they disrespect the sanctuary of your peace, they are evicted. This creates a vacuum that they cannot fill. They are left alone with their anger, which has nowhere to go but back inside themselves. They poison themselves. You are free. Robert Greene wrote, "It is much safer to be feared than loved." In this context, feared means respected. It means they know you have lines. They know you have self-control. They know you cannot be bullied, baited, or broken. They know that if they push too hard, you will not scream. You will simply vanish. And that is a power that money cannot buy. Listen to me closely. These 7 responses are tools. But a tool is useless in a trembling hand. The words don't matter if your energy is frantic. The delivery is 90% of the impact. You must practice the outlier state, low heart rate, deep breathing, still eyes. When the chaos starts, you slow down. They speed up, you slow down. They raise the volume, you lower yours. This contrast is what makes these techniques work. It is the contrast between a storm and a mountain. The storm howls, the mountain remains. Be the mountain. Most people go through life as leaves in the wind, blown around by the emotions of others. A boss yells, they get sad. A partner argues, they get angry. They are puppets. Cut the strings. When you use these techniques, you are taking the scissors and cutting the strings that the world uses to jerk you around. It will feel uncomfortable at first. Your old self wants to defend. Your old self wants to be nice. Your old self wants to explain. Let the old self die. The new you, the architect of your own reality, does not explain. The new you observes. The new you decides. The new you speaks once with precision, and then lets the silence do the heavy lifting. There is a paradox here, a strange truth. The more willing you are to end the conversation, the more control you have over it. The less you care about winning, the more often you will win. The more you embrace the darkness of silence, the more peace you will find. It is forbidden knowledge because society wants you compliant. Society wants you reactive. Reactive people buy things to feel better. Reactive people vote out of fear. Reactive people are easy to rule. Don't be reactive. Be strategic. Step out of the noise. Step into the cold. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't.